Good morning, folks. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling, saving you money, giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters to the weird noises and the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, and a few good laughs. I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins, shifting into drive this morning into your world. So as you invite me into your world this morning, I say thank you. I invite you into my own as well. We've got a lot to get through and a very short time to get there. I think I've heard that before somewhere, perhaps. It's going to be part 2 this morning. I began yesterday with Wanna Be Cool. Well, this is Wanna Be Cool part 2. Because when it comes to vehicle air conditioning, there's a lot to know. A lot more to know than you think about just turning on the icebox inside your vehicle and all is well. All is well until it's not. And it's hot, hazy, and humid, and uncomfortable, and you have an hour's drive to get to work without air conditioning. I'll tell you, fellas, if that's Mama's car, it's going to be pretty cold in the household for a while till you get her air conditioning going. So stick around. That's what we're going to be polishing up this morning. And it gets a little deep, but I'll try and keep it topical as possible, because we can always dive back in a few weeks once the heat does come on and stay with us. I think we're going to get blasted into it quick. So that's why I'm saying I think I should bring you up to speed with vehicle air conditioning before that time hits, where we just jump from being bounced around with outside temperatures and rain, and then plus rain times rain divided by rain equals May flowers. That's what they tell me. I just go, okay, enough's enough already. Let's dry out a little bit. And I don't have a Flymo lawnmower. You have to check that out. Have you ever seen the hovercraft lawnmower? It's called a Flymo. Apparently, they make a new one now. So if it keeps raining, we can all just get Flymos and hovercraft and cut our yards. Yeah, with hip waders on. That should be cool. Well, stick around. We're going to get things launched this morning. I think we better let's have our morning weather together first thing and get that out of the way, and then we'll hit the swiggy. So if you've got your 16-pack of Crayola crayons, you're doing better than I am this morning. I've misplaced my laptop leaf bag. You know what? They are a perfect memo pad, because you can place that on your lap. You got your box of crayons and your cup holder. You're happening. You're styling, man. You're taking down the intel. Yeah, and there's no chance of you getting scammed. Not with that. That's our Car Connection laptop. A folded up, ironed out leaf bag. So get your favorite beverage as you're scooting through the drive-through. Double check your order. We're getting close to the weekend. Minds start to wander a little bit. Yes, they do. And let's have a swiggy together in just a couple minutes. So lock that down. Let's get the daily weather brought to us this morning by Niagara Block at 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, one of our program partners. We thank Dave and Kathy and Dan for making it possible for us to be here, building Canada since 1931. All the building supplies that you can muster. They make the blocks right there, and their designer blocks. Every block you can think about, they have it. Yeah, I went on a tour, and it was like blocks and more blocks times blocks. There's more blocks. But I didn't realize how many different types of blocks there are to construction. Building houses, building a workshop, building a plaza, whatever it is, there's a block for that. And they have that at Niagara Block. They make them right there. How cool is that? Curbstones, patio stones. Well, I call them pavers, but you probably wouldn't know what that is. Patio stones, designer rocks for your garden, and landscaping rocks. You know, the big, I've got some in the backyard, and they look cool. When I look at it, I think, you know, when you look at a stone that's in your driveway, if you have a gravel driveway, and you look at one of those big rocks, you go, that's like that stone that you can pick up and put in your hand on steroids. Yeah, well, they have all the stuff you can think of and then some to create that beautiful outdoor space that you've always wanted. Outdoor living is huge today. It's huge. So stop by a Niagara Block. Let them know that you heard all about them right here on the Morning Drive with Motormouth. And thank them for bringing us the morning weather. And here's what we got. Are you ready? Hey, I can't make this stuff up. I would be just saying 77 degrees and sunshine every day. Yeah, and fountains that are not, they're not spraying water, it's warm chocolate with buckets of berries to dip the berries in the chocolate. That would be in double bacon cheeseburgers all day long, and you never gain any weight. That's my planet. Sign me up. Absolutely. Well, on the rain scale, let's get the bad news out of the way. Well, the plants are loving it, but I feel bad for the birds. There's no leaves to hide under yet, and it's raining and raining and raining. And it rained here sideways on the south coast of Lake Erie. 0.35 of an inch of rain today. That's better than what I saw around dinner time last night. All right, here it is. 52 degrees right now and fog, and it is foggy. The foghorn on the lake has been sounding since yesterday. And I did take a little trip to have a look and see how the ice is doing in the water, and it is super foggy out there. So it was really cool yesterday hearing the foghorn, and it's still been running. So 52 degrees now with the foghorn running on Lake Erie. Wind is making it feel cooler, about 51 degrees. Hazy conditions from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. with rain expected at 9 a.m. Today's temperature range will be 49 to 67 degrees, and it will feel like 48 to 61 degrees. So we're getting there. Once we hit over the 60-degree mark and we can maintain that for at least a week, then it's time to do the 30-day fuel savings challenge and put money back in your pocket. And I hear we're going to get a reduction on the fuel tax, 10 cents. Somebody said 25. It's actually 10 cents a liter. Really? That's the best you can do, dude? Anyhow, don't get me started on that. I think all the taxes should come off and give the people a break. Amen? Tell me what you think in the comments. Absolutely. So today it looks like we're going to hit 67. Yeah, yesterday the high was 68. It was nice out there. It really, really was. Till the rain came back. But, we had rain in the morning, and then it took off, and then it came back around dinner hour. Whatever your dinner hour is. Here it could be any time from, in the Car Connection Workshop, dinner hour could be any time between 5 and 8 o'clock. But try not to eat after 8 o'clock, because that's not good. All right, so we move on from that before we digress. And let's have our morning swiggy together right now while my cup is hot. And maybe yours is too. Thank you to Earl and Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing, Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store for over 25 years, providing low mileage, quality vehicles at fair prices, in-house financing and leasing. I'll tell you what, you will not find a better car pre-owned anywhere else. City Auto Sales and Leasing. And Mama Louise will not let you go out the door if she thinks that you're going to be car broke. She's going to have a little chitty chat with you and have a little talk because they care about you. At City Auto Sales and Leasing, Earl and Louise Grant, they are your car guys and they are your family that you have not met yet. So get out there and have a look at what they have. You can visit them online. If you don't see the specific vehicle you're looking for, then you need to connect because they have the resources to find those low mileage, quality vehicles. They sell no junk. So buy with confidence. Be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. That's our Earl and Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing. So on 3, 2, 1, this is how we do it. If you're joining us for the first time, raise your cup of beverage. Whatever your choice is, it's good with us. Ours is high octane, 99.5% boost, not a penny less. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, that's hot. Al, I'll be all right. I'll put a Band-Aid on it later. All right, let's jump right in this morning. First and foremost, let's make sure we get our in-house particulars taken care of. The biggest drawer in our toolbox is our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. So if you're visiting us for the very first time, that's where you will find everything you need to like and follow us, join our online community, connect with our recommended business owners. We have program partners and recommended businesses. Not everybody can fit into our format of our online podcast. Our podcasts are all available to you from all podcast opportunities. So wherever you're pulling your podcast from, whether it's Spotify, Amazon, Apple, or any of the others, Podbean, I mean, the list goes on and on. I like that word, Podbean. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I think we got to find a car and call it Podbean. What would it be? Send me an email on that. If we were to find a car and restore it or rescue it, what would it have to be called Podbean? I don't know. A Beetle? An old school Beetle? A Mini? I'm not sure. Tell me what you think. motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. So you'll find everything there. Our program partners and our recommended businesses are on our homepage. Just click on their logo and meet them. And thank you to all those who are doing so, because without them we would not be here with Car Connection 2.0, now with more ways to watch, listen, and engage. So also on our homepage, you'll find in the top right-hand corner all the links where you will find us. If you haven't signed up for our YouTube channel, you are way behind the 8 ball. We have a lot of really cool videos going up right now. I mean, there's a lot of great videos on there, and the numbers prove it that you're watching the videos. So if you haven't subscribed, do Skippy and I a huge favor, because we pour our hearts into what we do on our YouTube channel, and she puts together reels and shorts and bloopers on Instagram and Facebook. I'm on Stevensville on the web.ca. That's a website that our Skippy, our videographer, put together. She lives in Stevensville, grew up in Stevensville, knows pretty much everyone in Stevensville, and she's put us there as one of the professionals in the automotive field. So that website is really cool because it's communal. It brings the local businesses and the people together. So check it out. There's all kinds of information on that website. Also, our online store is available for you to grab some Car Connection Motormouth merch. And when you do so, proceeds go to help those struggling with addiction get to a Total Freedom Addiction Campus, Canada and USA, where they'll receive the help they need because they're ready. They're ready to deal with that addiction. Now you need a team that knows how to do that. And that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. They get no outside funding. They are very creative in making ways to bring funds into the campuses to keep them going so that they can provide all the necessary help to those who have made the decision to beat their addiction no matter what. So a new life waits for them there. It's not a program, it's a process. And through that process at a Total Freedom campus, you come out the other side with a new life, a new heart, and a good view on where you're going and how you're going to get there. So when you buy the merch on our online store safely, it's all put together actually by Freedom Expressions, which is a part of one of the companies they designed and developed on the Total Freedom campus at Darien Center, New York. And they do t-shirts and all that kind of stuff for businesses. And they put us together a store. So when you order something, they custom make it for you and ship it right to you. Goes right to your door. We don't even touch it. We just get to pick what items we'd like to put in there. And if there's something you'd like to see in there, let us know. Email motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. So everything is there for you. Come and join our online community. Be part of our Facebook and Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. iHeart Radio is there, that link, and we're on all podcast platforms, period. And now all our podcasts, when it uploads through the RSS feed onto iHeart and all the platforms, it also loads into our YouTube channel. So, and that's what I'm working on right now, is creating thumbnails for about 140 podcasts. So, yeah, I got my work cut out for me. So I've just started learning how to do it yesterday, and today I get to implement that and put that together. So pray for me, would you? How long would your car last if you actually had a proper maintenance plan? Well, I took the pictures yesterday of our Car Connection fleet maintenance system. That's sent over to our webmaster, so we should be seeing a profile page for me to review before it goes live at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. We have special pricing on it for those who are subscribed to our YouTube channel and for those who are not yet. Just saying, giving you a heads up. So do us a favor, Skippy and I, just make sure and verify that you are subscribed. And we're almost at 500 subscribers. We need 500 more to get to monetization. And we are getting a little excited now. We've been working 80 plus hours a week because we really want to be able to reach out to those who need their cars fixed and can't afford it, widows, orphans, single moms, that we'll be able to pay for the parts, donate the labor, and shoot the video and share those repairs with all of you. What it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and how you could get some basic vehicle ownership, repair, and maintenance fundamentals. Not overhauling the car, not making a monster truck or a cruising machine, just the basic fundamentals put you in the driver's seat. And that's why I'm here. And that's why this is the lane that I've been carving out and been carving it out for over 40 plus years. Let's jump into the morning topic. Shall we? Do you mind if I have another little sip? A swiggy? Thank you. That is so good for a Thursday. Don't forget, we're coming up to Fun Friday tomorrow, and then Q&A Saturday, questions and answers. You want to get your questions in and on the air with me? You've got to get those in like end of the day today, at the latest tomorrow, before noon, because then I pull 3 questions from all of the emails that have come in, and that's what I spend my time on. Excuse me, I think I'm coming down with something. I think it's called pollen. But anyways, I think her name is Pollen. And I look those over between end of the day today and tomorrow to select 3 great questions to share with everyone Saturday morning. It's Q&A, questions and answers. So in the description boxes is a lot of information on our YouTube videos and also on our podcasts. Podcast material is not YouTube, and YouTube videos are not podcast. So it's good for you to be listening and watching to get a lot of information so that you're in your driver's seat and you're owning, baby. You're owning that machine and saving money. So make sure you're subscribed. It's beneficial so that you can learn some of the basics, and that puts money back in your pocket. So I just wanted to mention that. In the description box, I do all that myself, and I put a lot of extra nuggets in there, things that I may not necessarily cover in my conversation or the videos. So grab it and hang on to it. You could actually create a little shop manual for yourself from my description boxes. And in the description box, there's all the information, anything that any products I've used or anything I've referred to, as well as our email addresses, niall@ccbusnet.com and motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. So get your questions in. We're almost at Fun Friday. Well, if you want to be cool this summer, now's the time to wrap your head around your air conditioning. This is what I know from trends. 44 plus years as an AC tech. And a lot of the guys I work with, they go like, Motormouth, you're freaking nuts for wanting to work on air conditioning. I don't know. It's just something I can't even answer the question why I don't mind working on it, and I enjoy it. And sometimes the work is a little miserable, getting at a compressor or getting a condenser out, or if you got to go inside the car and take 99% of it out to get to the evaporator core because it's leaking. I don't know why I really like that too much, but I just have. It's one of those things that it works for me. It clicks. It absolutely does. So remember, there's 2 ways to own a car, and this wraps in with this topic very, very well. There are 2 ways to own the car: living in the unknown or living in the know. One's going to create for you a ton of additional stress. Do you need that? Really? Well, I'll send you some. Just give us the address. We'll get that over to you. The other gives you freedom, peace of mind. So that's what I'm trying to build with you right now, because based on the weather trend, that's what I look at this time of the year. I'd be in the shop going, we used to be able to carry a lot of air conditioning parts and pieces, and that would help our customers so we could get them out, the air conditioning fixed and out the door. That doesn't happen anymore. So I wanted to touch on that so that you get a better understanding. Here's the thing. Here's how air conditioning repairs works in the automotive world. Light truck, passenger vehicles. If you leave it too late, they only run so many parts of air conditioning components. And if it turns out to be a really hot summer, we get into June and in the beginning of July, and air conditioning units are down like crazy, the parts run out. Got that? The parts begin to run out. And we can be waiting 2 to 3 weeks just to get the parts to fix your air conditioning. That's why I'm saying, ringy ding ding ding, now to get your air conditioning system evaluated, any imperfections corrected to the best of your ability. I mean, there's lots of components that make up your vehicle's air conditioning system, and I like to explain it like this. If I'm in your house and I'm a plumber, you got a leaking tap down in the laundry room. So you take me there, you say, yeah, this is leaking. Can we fix it? What do we got to do to take care of it? Well, the taps are kind of very old and corroded. The amount of labor it's going to take for me to get it all apart here, I could just hog this old one out and put you an update in. So I go ahead and do that. So then 2 weeks later, you phone me and you go, well, the bathroom tap's leaking. Well, it wasn't leaking until you were here. I go, well, that's the bathroom. I was working in the laundry room. I didn't touch your bathroom taps. Are you seeing where I'm going? And so then I fixed the bathroom taps. And a week later, now we have a dripping faucet in the downstairs bathroom. So you call me and you say, well, you fixed the laundry tub tap set in the bathroom. Well, now we got a dripping something or other in the downstairs bathroom. Like, what's going on here? I'm paying you all this money. I'm paying you all this money and it's not fixed. Well, how am I responsible? Riddle me this. How am I responsible for the bathroom tap? Now, the leaking something or other in the downstairs bathroom. What did you call me to fix? The leak in the laundry room. Okay, this might seem a little whacked, but it won't in just a moment. So, what makes up your vehicle's air conditioning system? Are you ready for it? I'm going to rattle off as much as I can. And they're all components that have connections that can leak. They're all components that can fail and cause air conditioning down. Okay? Let's start from the grill. AC condenser unit sits right up front, so when you're riding up somebody's backside, kicking up gravel and stuff, it's hitting your air conditioning condenser right up front, just like a ramming machine. Yeah, so stay back a ways, would you? Because you're sandblasting your vehicle's air conditioning condenser. It's right up front. It sits ahead of your radiator, so it's taking every stone the gravel trucks are pitching at you. So that's number one. Let's move indoors into the engine compartment. Now we have high pressure hoses and low pressure hoses that come off the AC condenser. Remember, it's way out front. So when you're drafting with that 18-wheeler and it's spraying road crud at you, just remember what I told you. That's going to cost you. So you have AC lines, high pressure lines, low pressure lines, they all attach to the condenser. Then we have an AC compressor that compresses the refrigerant and pushes it through all the arteries that make up the air conditioning system itself. So wherever there's a component, there is a high pressure line and a low pressure line attached to it. Now we have an accumulator. What does the accumulator do? Well, the accumulator filters out particles, but it also has a decusant bag inside it that needs to be replaced, but in most cases it can't be. It attracts moisture out of the refrigerant, and it holds it and stores it there. You know when you open like electronics, you see those little pouches in there? It's that on steroids. It's about the size of your hand. Okay? Pretty much. I'm looking at my hand. Yeah, it's pretty close to that. It is pretty close to that. And so when that gets absorbed with moisture because your air conditioning system's not been working for several months, and hubby said, well, summer's over, let's just let her go all winter, we'll take care of it next summer. That's a really bad idea. Why? Because that bag, if your refrigerant is out, your neighbor didn't take it, you have a massive leak. So that means what gets into the system? Moisture. All that salted road moisture has been drawn into your AC system, into the accumulator, and that decusant bag is just about ready to explode. Okay, let's move on. So that's why if you want air conditioning this year and it went down late last year, it could be a challenge to get it back up and running. If we don't change the accumulator and we just try and charge it, that bag will explode, sending a ceramic-like material through every nook and cranny and artery and component in the air conditioning system. And that's when I say to you, I don't care to give you an estimate to fix this one. It is DNR. Do not resuscitate. To get that air conditioning system back up and running, you're talking in the thousands. Because why? Every single component that makes up your vehicle's air conditioning system needs to be pulled out and flushed. And there can't be one speck of that ceramic-like material anywhere. Now let's move on to another component. The orifice tube. Not to be confused with the whale. That would be an orca tube. This is an orifice tube. What does it do? Well, I'm not going to get into the technicalities, but it does change the state of the refrigerant from a gas to a vapor and back to a liquid. But it also filters out very small microns of particles. Any kind of particles floating around in the oil get trapped in the orifice tube, and then it restricts the flow of refrigerant, and that's when we have a high pressure, low pressure problem on our gauge. Usually indicating by a fluctuating needle on one of the gauges that there's a restriction somewhere, and 9 times out of 10 it's the orifice tube. So we want to get in there and put a new orifice tube in, and it's not until you look at it and go, wow, that thing was almost plugged up. Yeah, and that makes a huge difference to how cold your air conditioning system and how well it functions. So now we're heading towards your dashboard. When we get to the orifice tube, we're heading for the dashboard. In behind the dashboard, which is what I've always said, they put that component in first and then build the car around it. That's how hard it is to get to the evaporator core. The evaporator core's inside, buried inside, deep inside the bowels of the dash. Yeah. That's where the beast is. And that's where that smell comes from. You know, like the old gym locker or the hockey bag that's been, you know, the equipment's been used and it's been zipped up and just left on the basement floor, and you get to open it and pass out. Yeah, that smell. Yeah, that is created by the evaporator core, and I'm going to teach you how to avoid creating that smell. Because how did that smell happen? You're not going to like me. Get ready. I can feel myself getting off the Christmas gift giving list and the Christmas card gift giving list. Ready? You're the problem. The whole problem. That's right. So we're going to talk about that. Where does that smell come from? And it's embarrassing. And how did it happen? You. It was you times you plus you divided by you. You. Now I'm going to teach you some stuff. I don't know if I'll get through all this today, but if we have to do a part 3, it's worth it. Because how many of you have a vehicle right now that if you put the air conditioning on, it smells really bad? It's bacteria. It sucks to be you because it's not easy to get rid of. Once it's there, I'm going to talk about that. It's not that easy to get rid of it. And I know every method known to mankind and have even created some of my own. And I'll tell you, it is not easy to conquer that shrew at all. Okay, so let's jump in. That was the prerequisite. Those are all the components that make up your vehicle's air conditioning system. So if I fix one area, I'm not responsible for all the other areas should it start to leak somewhere else. That was my point about the laundry tub taps leaking, then the upstairs tap, then something in the downstairs bathroom. Those are all separate components related only by the flow of water, but my hands didn't touch those other areas. Would you agree with me, yes or no, that there are lots of water connections everywhere in your homestead that could potentially leak, or a component failure potentially creating a leak? Your vehicle's air conditioning system is exactly the same way. All the components that make up that refrigeration system, that's what it is. It's a fridge in your car. That would be tough. Although that would be very handy, I might add. We could give up a passenger seat, put a fridge there. Anyhow, there's all those different connections that make up that refrigeration unit in your car. So if I fix one area and it forms a leak somewhere else, I'm not responsible for that. And if I fix that area and then it starts leaking somewhere else, I'm not responsible for that either. Because as an AC tech, I have to make sure that your vehicle is leak-free after I've performed whatever duties I needed to do to fix the system, service the system, or maintain the system. And my ODSP number goes on that. Ozone depleting substance number. Yeah, I have to tag, bag, and gag it. So it comes back to me. If the area that's leaking happens to be the area where I was working, then something went wrong. Then yeah, that may or may not be my responsibility. So I want to make that perfectly clear. I would like to make myself perfectly clear. Where have I heard that before? Yeah. It's kind of a spooky term for me. Anyways, that's the deal. There's lots of connections, lots of components that can fail, and by me, the tech, just fixing the area that your refrigerant leaked out from and verifying that that leak is fixed, the system is right and tight, and I put dye in the system. I put dye in every vehicle air conditioning system I work on, so that when you come back and it's not working, I don't have to hook anything up but my black light. And most of the time, because the dye is so good, you can see it without a black light and happy glasses. Yeah. And that way I can locate it very, very quickly and go, oh, it's leaking over here. Because here's what we have to know. If there's a leak today, the system is all the same age. The only way we can possibly reduce that down, the number of leaks that your vehicle may experience in the air conditioning system, is take the whole damn thing apart and then put it all back together. And that still doesn't guarantee there isn't going to be a leak somewhere. So let's get past that, folks. Let's get past that, because that's how it works. If I fix it here and tomorrow it's leaking over there, and then I fix it there, and the next week it's leaking over there, it's all the same age, all the same old rings, the whole 9 yards. Most people, if I say to them, well, if you want it 100% or close to 100% leak-free, we got to take the whole system apart and rebuild it. How much is that going to cost? More than the car, times 10. At least 10. No. That's usually the answer. So how do we get around it? Well, we deal with what we have to deal with and then inspect all the rest of the components to determine, are there any other telltale signs of weakness in any of those components I just talked about? Because that's important. And we have to make sure that we're testing inside the car too, because if the evaporator core is leaking, and that happens, it seems to be a pattern failure with some of the domestics, mostly the ones that start with the letters GMC are really known for that. And it's a lot of work to get that evaporator core out, but I have a method of testing it to verify if it's leaking. And if my sniffer picks it up, then it doesn't matter what else I do. If that doesn't get corrected, the refrigerant's gonna leak out. And as an AC tech, we're not allowed to let a vehicle go out with refrigerant in if we know darn well that it's leaking. That goes against us as a tech. The first fine is to the shop that you're working for $100,000. And then to the tech that touched it is $10,000. So I love you, but I don't like you. Okay? Let's just leave it at that. Not enough to say I want to dump $10,000 and get a fine and a stripe on my license. No. And we're going to talk about the top-up thing. Oh, yes. In detail. Because I know the fellas, if they're listening, can you just top that up there, fella? Here, just, this is for you. Uh-huh. We're gonna cover that one in detail, let me tell you. You might want to wear a chin plate on this one. So, time frame to fix an air conditioning. Once we've diagnosed it, for you, it would be good if we can fix it in less than 10 days. It'd be really good if you bring the vehicle in at this time, because as soon as the heat goes on and everybody presses the max AC and goes, nothing. I've got nothing coming out of the dash. Warm air or cool air. Either one is not going to be air conditioning. It's going to be something, but it's not going to be air conditioning. You're not the only one that's going to get on the horn and the phone is going to go into Chernobyl meltdown in the shop, and you can only do so many AC units a day. Truly. You really can't just pump them out like chiclets or flapjacks with strawberry syrup on it. I don't know why I was thinking about that, but anyways, time frame. Getting your vehicle in early right now and having the system tested, which is everything I talked about yesterday. So if you missed part 1, you're going to want to go listen to that podcast. It's AC system, evacuation, pressures, cabin filter, leak test, tag and bag and gag. That was yesterday. So today is time frame to fix AC, DIY AC, recharge, and how to use air conditioning. So we may not get to the how-to because there are a lot of things that you need to know that you probably do not know about your vehicle's air conditioning system that's costing you. Because if you think that your vehicle's air conditioning system is maintenance free, you are so far out in the rhubarb I can't even see you. That's not true whatsoever. It's a freezer in your car. It's a refrigerator, and they break down. That's what happens to refrigeration units. Just talk to restaurant owners. So if we can get you in early this time of year, there's lots of AC parts floating around. So we can grab it here or there around the square, but we can round up what we need, get it to the shop, and get the job done. In the interim, as long as we don't take the system apart, you can still drive the car while we're rustling up the parts. So that's how that works. Well, how much is that going to cost is what I've always been asked. And here's what I'm going to tell you based on today's prices. If you can get your air conditioning, it's down. Let's say the system is down. If we can get that back up and running for you and decently healthy, which means I've probably fixed and suggested to fix a few components that are showing serious weakness, which means I'm going to fix it today and tomorrow kafufnik somewhere else. That's a technical term, kafufnik. And then we got to hunt down some more parts. So I'd rather tell you up front, say, look, this condenser is beaten to death. It's going to leak very, very soon. So that's why I'm saying if you like to draft with the 18-wheelers and all the other cars in front of you, keep this in mind. There's sandblasting the front of your car. Your AC condenser is right there, taking it in the teeth constantly. It wears the aluminum down. Aluminum is very soft and not forgiving. So if you feel like you're riding in a NASCAR and you're drafting with these people to get to work sooner, you're destroying your car, just letting you know. I'm in your corner. I am. So y'all have some really bad habits that end up costing you guys and gals a ton of money because as my professor would say, you don't know what you don't know. That's why you don't have, because if you knew it, you'd know it. And if you know it, never did it, then you never knew it in the first place. Period. You don't know what you don't know. Pigs don't know pigs stink. It's true. I used to ship them every Monday. They don't. Pigs don't know pigs stink. Okay, number 2. Well, I didn't finish the price, did I? No, I did not. On purpose. Okay, there was a day where I would tell my clients at my shop, if we can get you back up and running for $500, you do a happy dance in your worst Christmas sweater possibly and nastiest shorts on the front lawn of your homestead for 20 minutes because it was a happy day. We get you out the door for $500. Parts and labor, the whole 9 yards. But today, get ready for it. Under $2,000. Under $2,000 to get your vehicle's air conditioning system up and running is a happy day. It's an expensive system, and like everything else, the prices have gone nuts on the parts. And the price of the refrigerant per pound is out of this freaking world. Kid you not. 1 pound of refrigerant. True, proper refrigerant. We're going to talk about the do-it-yourself kits in just a moment because that is not good. You need to know what you're doing, fellas, before you try and become the hero with one of these kits from the store. We're going to talk about that in depth because it's not good. It's not good. It's not going to help you. It's going to really do some destruction. And you have to know that because they're not going to tell you. Well, why wouldn't they tell us it's going to do destruction? It's buyer beware. Caveat emptor. Come on now. Stay up with it. Yeah, buyer beware. You know, they sell tinted window stuff. A lot of it's illegal in different states in the U.S. And, you can find that out by when you roll into a state with one of the guys with the hat on and the pistol on his side is going to pull you over and let you know and give you a ticket. Well, why do they sell the window tint? It's buyer beware. You have to know. If you're going south of the border, don't make the windows too dark. Otherwise, in certain states, you're going to get pulled over and you're going to get a fine and you're going to be told it has to be taken off. When? 5 minutes before they pulled you over. Yeah. Same with lighting. If you're adding lights and Goonie stuff to your car and you're going to go south of the border, you better find out what states and what their laws are with regards to lighting. Otherwise, the happy guy with the hat on is going to pull you over and the blue flashing lights, and you're going to have to remove them on the spot and get a fine. So stores that are selling these touch-up, fill it with whatever kits, they don't care that it's doing further damage to your AC system. If you're willing to buy it and give it a shot, they're willing to sell it. And I disagree with that 110%, and I'm going to tell you why momentarily. Let me finish my thoughts. So under $2,000 is a happy day. You break out that horrible Christmas sweater and the worst shorts you can think of and do a happy dance in your front yard. And if you can get out the door for under $500, I can't even tell you how ecstatic I would be, because even though I can do the work myself and I'm qualified and have the equipment to do it, the parts are so darn expensive. It's crazy bad. Yeah, just an O-ring set, $260. We used to pay like $23 for it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. What happened there? Whose pencil got hold of those prices? We need to snap that thing and put it in the shredder. Okay, now we're going to move into, so now you know, fix-it time frame could be 10 days. Could be 7, could be 3. The sooner you get your air conditioning diagnosed and an estimate put together and parts on the way, the better it is. The later you let it go, the worse the scenario. Period. So I'm telling you the way it is. It's been that way for 44 years for me, doing air conditioning. 44 years, it's never changed. There's a trend there, a pattern failure. So if you leave it and put it off like you did, that went down in the fall, your vehicle's going to be one heck of an ordeal to get that going again, because the system's been open all the way through winter. Not a good idea, fellas. Here's how I would tell any of you. If your system went down in the fall and now you want to get it going, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you to get it up and running. If you love your vehicle's air conditioning and you cuddle up to it when it's working well as you drive and enjoying a nice, comfortable drive, and that's you and you cannot live without it, then the moment that system goes down is the moment you get it fixed. That's the rule of thumb. Anything outside of that is you're setting yourself up for 110% failure on that. I can tell you, it is not going to, you're not winning that game even by going to the store, fellas, and saying, little lady, I'm going to take the bull by the horns. Good luck with that. Okay, let's talk about these I charged it myself packages. They're out there. And myself, I don't want any single one of those canisters anywhere near my shop whatsoever, period. Not at all. I don't want it in the shop. There's certain items I will never allow in the shop. That is one of them, period. They're for sale out there, and you're not an AC tech fella, and they should not be allowing you to play with whatever's in the can, that's in the kit. And here's the problem. They put sealers in there, in that refrigerant. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of sealant it is. I don't even know what kind of oil they're putting in there to lubricate your compressor, because when you lose the refrigerant, you're also losing oil, and the system has to have so many ounces of oil for each make and bottle. How can you use one of those recharge kits and know how much oil is in the system to lubricate the components and the compressor? And how do you know whether you have enough refrigerant in there or too much? Or if the goo that's in the can to seal things off is a little too good and it plugs up the orifice tube, which it usually does, and then you lose refrigerant flow and the system's down, it's plugged. The accumulator is all full of that goo where the decusant bag is. Are you following me? Because that's where the destruction is going to happen. Well, they sell it on the shelf. Yeah, they do. And they sell food that tastes like dog poo. I don't know how I know that. But they sell it, and you'll eat it. Are you following me? Stay with me now. Stay with me. So if you go and grab one of those cans that has, some of them have little gauges on and whatnot. A, I don't know what refrigerant that is. B, I have no idea what sealant it is. I'm not aware of any of it. So here's the problem. You ready? So now the system's not working. Now you're bringing it into my shop, and I'm not even willing to hook up my machine to your system if it's had that stuff put in there, because it will destroy my AC unit. Totally. It will totally destroy my air conditioning unit, my machine. So am I willing to take that risk for you? If I can't identify your system in your car and what's in there, I'm not plugging it in at all. I got to kick you down the road at that point, because you know what? The machine's like over 10 grand. No. Would you do that for me? Well, just top her up, you can fix it up. You can put some stuff in there. No, we're going to fix it right. And then when I fix it right, I do, now the refrigerant that we're using does have a proper sealant in there just to keep O-rings pliable. It's not a sealant like a glue or a composite, anything like that. It's not that. That's what's in this stuff you're getting at the store. So that's why there's no stinking way I'm hooking up my gauge set or my machine to your car after you've put that stuff in. It will cause damage to my machine, and all the refrigerant that I have recycled will become a cocktail that I now can't get rid of. And it's stored in the tank that's part of the machine, and now my machine's ruined. So, fellas, don't mess with that stuff. That's my short story. Do not mess with that stuff. Well, why would they sell it? That's the story I hear. Back when I wrote my ODS, ozone depleting substance license, we had to have the license to manage refrigerants. Then now they're allowing you to play with refrigerants over the counter or on the shelf in the parts store. You following me? Really? Is that a great idea? That was the whole reason why all of us that were fixing air conditioning had to get a license for it. A specific license was to handle refrigerant. So refrigerant was no longer allowed to be in the hands of the public. It was in the hands of the techs. So if you weren't a tech, you couldn't buy it. I couldn't even buy refrigerant without giving the parts store my ODS number, ozone depleting substance number. Even though we have different refrigerants now, there's I can't tell you the number of times it's switched up. I don't even know which one we're on this year. I got to find out. What refrigerant are we using now? You know, because we went from R12 to 134A, then we went 134AA, then we went to 137. It's you can't keep up with it. So whatever, like I said, whatever they're selling that's in that can, the sealant, the goo that's in there, because that's what it is. It's some kind of goo, and it's not a seal enhancement product to keep seals pliable. It's there to find the leak and plug it. It's like putting the cooling system plug and fill product in there. That's another disaster for another day. So this is what I'm talking about, is the do-it-yourself air conditioning recharge thing is a no-no. Absolute no-no. And I think we'll pull over and park it there. Tomorrow we'll talk about all the tips and tricks on how to use your vehicle's air conditioning system properly so that you don't develop that smell that is embarrassing when you turn the air conditioning on. You have guests in the car and they're going, "Ew, what's that? What's that smell?" What smell? I don't smell anything. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, you don't want to be putting up with that, because it's not a quick fix, but I can help you to prevent it, because none of my vehicles that have air conditioning in smell. Why is that? You're going to learn about that. I'm going to teach you all the tips and tricks to prevent that from happening. But if you already have it happening, we can try. It's better to try and fail than to never try at all, right? So till tomorrow, happy, healthy motoring, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share, follow, ring the notification bell, be notified of new videos coming out on our YouTube channel. 2 for Tuesday, 1 every Friday. So you get 3 new videos every single week. We got new series running right now, and then we got a huge series on a vehicle from California waiting in the weeds. And they're all maintenance, preventative maintenance, and upgrades. That's what we're going to be showing you. So happy, healthy motoring. Make it a fabulous Thursday. Don't forget, tomorrow is Fun Friday. We talk about whatever we can figure out to talk about on Fridays. We have some great discussions. You can email me anytime, motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com or niall@ccbusnet.com. But our website is where you can find everything you need to like, follow, and be part of our online community, our YouTube channel, and our podcasts. So peace, patience, and kindness. Come and join us for another Motormouth 8 a.m. morning drive right here in the Car Connection Workshop. Make it a great day. Bye for now.